Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out low. Was it your plan? Can't understand. I love the air you bring, everything. Under the sun, a fire is burning. You tell me to hold on tight. I wish that we could stay here forever. I wanna remember. Oh, the sight of you brings a fight in me, makes me wanna move. Fingers down your spine, looking in my eyes, feel your hands on mine. Tonight we're freer than ever. I wanna remember. Oh, we run every endeavor. I wanna remember. Step on the land, I've got your hand.
So thanks again to everybody who's here tonight. Thanks to all the guys who made tonight possible. Thanks for coming out in the pouring rain. Thank you to everybody at home who is tuning in. So I'd like to start by giving you a quick overview of the club. So key moments, some of those maybe you've seen. And then we'll go on to presenting the players, the coach, that have arrived here in Plymouth. There's one or two of you might already be aware, some of them haven't arrived in Plymouth. Some of them, one of them in particular, is quite literally up in the air as we speak. So 1983, the Plymouth Raiders formed from the Southwest Regional team, the Canaries. The Canaries have dominated locally, and the next step was the launch into the National Basketball League. Early founders of the club include Les Palmer, Martin Moon, Keith Mollard, while Frank Pocock and Bob Carrick, alongside local MP Gary Streeter, were active behind the scenes, helping to establish the team during its formative years. Our early team colours are actually red and yellow, and they're based around our lead sponsor at the time, Lucaden, who were a division of Farley's organisation. Our first ever home game was played at the old Mayflower Centre, Central Park, against the Mersey Mustangs on October 1st, 1983, which resulted sadly in a 1.75-76 loss in the old EBL Division 2. Our first victory in the then EBL was against Nottingham on October 28th, and our very two first American import players were Dave Lutz and Don Nolan, very much trailblazers when you consider the Americans who've come through every year since. Now, during our early years, we were lucky enough to secure Dave Downey, fresh from a stint in the Dutch League, and still regarded as arguably the greatest Plymouth Raider of all time. Dave was later joined by Chris Huey to form the formidable Twin Towers, who helped Raiders develop into a force of nature in the early years of the EBL. Now, over the following years, a long list of exceptional players pounded the hard courts of the Mayflower Centre. Some of those are still paying the price today, including John and Andy Goodemo, Chris Miller, Trent Forbes, Wayman Boone, Ted Hotterling. The list literally goes on. They were always ably supported by a local cast of many, many dozens throughout Raiders history. Bradley Knight, Tony Watchman, Terry Leonard, Gary Strong. We'll talk a bit more about shortly. Mark Lynch, Paul Holdsworth. They later paved the way for Gavin, James Loveridge, and a great number of Plymouth players locally born and bred who transformed the city of Plymouth over the last 35 years into a true powerhouse of UK basketball. One of the defining moments in the club's history was a young lad from Sunderland who joined the club in 1987, Gary Strong. Over the years, Gary would not only become captain, but also in 1996, head coach. After Vic Fleming's brief but highly influential spell with the club, where Vic was instrumental in continuing and resurrecting from 93 to 1996 the youth policy and bringing a new generation from the local leagues back into the Raiders' first team. And Gary continued playing until 1998-99 season as player coach. Now, both myself and Richard were very much products of both Vic and Gary's early work with the Raiders, and we literally wouldn't be here now without them. So in the 96-97 season, the team were offered the chance to relocate to the Plymouth Pavilions, which coincided with a long period, where the Raiders started to assert dominance in Division 1. The winners of the Division 1 title in 2001 and 2004, and runner-up on 5 other separate occasions during that period. With an ever more impressive team on the court and off the court as the club transitioned from Keith Mollard, Brian Briggs to Bob and Pat Widdicombe, it was only a matter of time before the BBL came calling and the stage was set. In September 2004, the jump to the BBL was made, with head coach Gary Stronach retaining faith in many of his Division 1 players, including Gavin Love, Alistair Gall, and a number of others, products of the local scene, now playing at the pinnacle of UK basketball. In 2007, the Raiders secured the BBL trophy in Newcastle against an ever-dominant Eagles side, tearing up the form book, a feat, sadly, that hasn't been matched since in this city. And over the following years, the club has continued to be an influential and key player across the BBL, with both Bob and Pat Widdicombe at the helm, who've worked tirelessly to ensure and support the team, and to make sure that this city continues to be represented at the top table of the sport. Our thanks very much go to them and for their support during the summer and during this period of transition. It just wouldn't have been possible without their support. After Gary retired from the club in May 2010 to move abroad, Gavin took control of the first team in 2010-2011. During his first season, took the club to the BBL Trophy and BBL Cup finals, sadly finishing second on both occasions. But it gave the club a glimpse of what he and the team were capable of. Gavin left in 2013 to pursue new opportunities across the continent. More about that in a moment. And before I introduce Gavin, I'd like to make a few notable mentions. Richard and I would like to thank the volunteers who work every week during the season. A number of them are here tonight, and the off-season. And we've seen with Tony and Irene, who've been instrumental in getting the pavilions ready for us over this last week. Without their support, Sunday would be impossible to do. So Tony and Irene are hugely grateful. But there are simply too many people to name individually here. But we want to thank them and look forward to working with them over the coming months. To Alicia and all the pavilion staff, who've pulled out the stops for us to continue to bring you all a show that the fans can be proud of. Our own backroom team, Nikki Drury, Heather Nash, Danny Stevens. As our newly appointed GM, Heather has stepped up to the challenges in remarkable fashion. We thank you all for your fantastic work this summer and going forward. Our headline sponsors, Marjons, Stan and Andrew, supporting the team for the long term and providing the club with cutting-edge sports sciences, facilities and knowledge to help take the team to another level. Integrating a team of professional male athletes, however, into Freshers Week presents us with Plessy and Michael the Goth. Now, Mike's not only a passionate basketball fan, but he's become a dear friend of the club. And we're very proud to have him associated with us, again, too, for the long haul. Many of the subtle changes that we're making this year, and on game day at the Pavilions, are down to Michael, and his desire also for us to put on the best possible show at the Pavilions for the fans. And to all of our sponsors, many here tonight, we simply couldn't do any of this without you. At a time when we all face business challenges, the support you provide is instrumental and crucial to our survival. It wouldn't be right if we didn't make a special thanks also to Foxy. Wherever he is, some of you may have picked up that we're doing this Follow the Fox and it's suddenly become Find the Fox. We're a little bit concerned he's not going to be around on Sunday, so all manner of people are out there currently looking for Foxy. But Foxy's been one of our constant and most successful themes throughout the history of this club. And he's actually, and I don't know whether anybody knows this, he's only actually been played by 2 people through the club's history, which in itself is amazing. A lot of people know who those individuals are. People know Chris, people know Pete, and our sincerest thanks. They've both taken this responsibility of playing Foxy extremely seriously, but not always quite seriously. We're looking forward to it not being taken quite so seriously again. But they deserve a special mention. They're Frank Pocock and our dear friend Bob Carrick, who left us far too early. Frank's here tonight, it's impossible to think of two people who've had a bigger impact on the game locally, and their work over the decades can ever be forgotten. Frankly speaking, our weekly programme entry was a fan favourite for 20 years. And Frank's encyclopedic knowledge and talent as a wordsmith left many a bemused 10-year-old, and indeed most adults, who still haven't unravelled the mystery of Frank's entries in the programme. Scores were often settled in print, sage-like observations were delivered with aplomb, and many glasses of Guinness were drunk along the way, mostly at somebody else's expense. But Frank introduced me to the game of basketball at Kingstown School in 1998 when I was 12 years old. I'm extremely happy that Frank is here tonight. Now over to this year and back to Gavin. After a few successful years across Europe in Copenhagen and AD Concern in Luxembourg, we're of course delighted to be able to bring him back, where there is very much a sense of unfinished business. Given the timescales this summer, Gavin has worked very hard to put together a young, talented team with some exceptional British and Irish talent, and we're excited to introduce these players to you this evening. So in a moment, I'll introduce you to Gavin and the team. During a highly distinguished playing career exclusively in Plymouth, which for any sport is quite unusual these days, he played 378 times for the Plymouth Marjons, more than anybody else actually, scoring 3,389 points over 15 years. But it's a record that's not quite good as Gary Storms, who told me, who scored 889 more points in 357 games, which is 21 games less than Gavin. Despite this, we thought we'd bring it back. So I'd like to introduce you to our new head coach, Gavin.
Hello everyone, thank you for the welcome. It's nice to see some familiar faces out there, and it's nice to be back, apart from the weather of course. Yeah, it's great. We have a new project in front of us and we're ready to go. Very exciting times.
So that's a little bit for some of the players that we've got. Give us something like that. We've been putting some things on
All Gavin's done on summer is look at videotape,
yeah.
So he's looking a little bit strange.
Yeah, thank you. We have a lot of young talent on our team this year. We've actually discovered some local talent that I'm really impressed with. We had a summer tryout for all the local players, and the response was fantastic. We ended up taking 2 players that we're about to introduce from that tryout, one of which comes to Marjons, which is fantastic. Marjons have introduced a scholarship scheme, which one of our players, Eddie Matthews, is on, and Denzel will be on that scheme too as well. And that's fantastic. That helps us out a great deal. And we've also recruited a local guy in Steve, and I'm really happy with the number of players we have from the local area. It helps us out a great deal. And I think we're building a community of basketball, not just kind of 8 foreign players in and out next year, each year. I think it takes a lot of time, but it's the process that we're undertaking, so we're really excited about that. And obviously we've brought in a number of foreign players that are going to be, they're going to be exceptional players, no question. But a few issues getting them in the country on time, but these things happen, unavoidable. But I'm sure we're going to be a very exciting team, no question.
Would you like to say a few words before we bring the players through?
I'll just say thank you very much for everyone coming out tonight. I mean, it's horrendous. When I walked to reception, it was absolutely drenched in about 20 yards. So, yeah, just to reiterate what Ross has said, thank you very much to all our sponsors, Marjons, to everybody else who's come out tonight, to Plessy as well. And yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of hard work the last few weeks. It's been a lot of fun as well. But hopefully once we get to see some basketball, things will calm down and the enjoyment factor will take over again. But yeah, just a massive thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone who's helped. And it's the start of a very long journey, I think.
So Gavin, would you like to start bringing the guys through?
Absolutely. I'd love you guys to... I've got a shout out, sorry. Alright. And I want to introduce our point guard. This is Neil Watson. Neil's won a couple of championships at Leicester. He played for Glasgow last year. He's a great point guard, and I'm sure he's going to bring his enthusiasm and his talent to the Plymouth Raiders. So I'm excited to have our point guard. We have a face that you should be familiar with, a former Raiders player, and Irish international, Dylan Costello. Yeah. We have another player that's won a few titles in his time. We have a young player who's come to Marjons to study and play. Shooting guard. He's played for Newcastle and Leeds and is on a scholarship here at Marjons, and that's Eddie Matthews. We have another fan favourite, another familiar face. Spent a few years here at the Plymouth Raiders, and last year had a very good season in Germany with Koblenz, and that's Louis Sayers. We have a young player here, 20 years old, spent some time in the States at college and some time at the Westminster Warriors as well. He's a super young talent. Also here at Marjons, and you need to keep an eye on this kid because he's going to be a super talent in a few years, and that's Denzel Aboria. And the next player came to our summer tryouts, did a fantastic job. He's been on the local basketball scene for a number of years and came through the development a few years back. We have Steve Flash Gordon. Yeah.
Never heard that before.
No, never. My guys don't even know who Flash Gordon is. Anyway, we have a young player who's a World International. He's studying at Plymouth. Can't have everything, but he's a good young lad, and that's Matt Broderick. Okay. And we also have players playing a few teams at Leeds, and he's a former GB international, played at London last year, and he will be our club captain this year, and that is Zach Wells.
That means he has to do a speech, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Last but not least, we have a super talented player from Estonia. He played in the Baltic League last year at TTU, great scorer, and he knows how to play the game, so we're excited to have him here, and that's Yunus Javeli. We do have a couple of players that obviously aren't in the country yet, and they're certainly exciting players. That one will be here on Sunday, and hopefully the other will be here next week, God willing. We have Greg Mays and Brandon Penn. I think we have a short video. You can see a little bit of. I think obviously the fans want to see us put points on the board. It's always been my style. We're always going to play fast. It's definitely a style, I think, free-flowing, equal opportunity. The fans will definitely like it. It seems to work for me over the last couple of years. I would definitely say more of a European style of basketball. And hopefully it's successful. I think ultimately I have to wait for the whole team to get here to really decide how we're going to play. But you know, I have a model in mind.
Ross, you talked about changes to the pavilion's game day experience. What kind of stuff can you say to fans?
Well, we've given everything a little bit of a fresh coat of paint in many different ways. There's new lighting, a lot more green lighting, which will be quite apparent even on Sunday. We've changed some of the audio for the game day presentation. Some of those changes will be obvious fairly early, and some of it is going to be an evolution as we go through the season. We're still going to keep some of the old familiar tracks, but I think it would be wrong to say that we've kept everything. So we hope as part of this that people come to the pavilions and notice that we've maybe just made some slight tweaks and changes, and I hope everybody likes it. If you don't, you can tell us, and we'll welcome your ideas.
Gavin, how important is it that in fact you've got quite a few players on the team that have got BBL experience?
Well, I think it's always important. It's always an advantage. They know the league and they know the style of basketball to play. And you know, a lot of the guys here are young, you know, and they have the best basketball ahead of them, and that was the idea really. And I think that, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's nice. We want a few people to be experienced, but I think it's always exciting for the fans to have new faces. And I think we have a really nice blend. And players that I believe that will remain with us for a number of years, and that was the reason we brought those guys here.
Yes. Gavin, so how's the training been going here at Marjons?
Fantastic, of course. No, we've really enjoyed it. I think the players have been working very hard for 2 weeks. You know, these guys have great character. They work extremely hard. We've been obviously on the basketball court in the mornings, and then we've been doing the S&C, which is run by Marjons, a few plugs there. And they're doing a fantastic job. Then at the S&C has been wonderful with the guys, and you know, we couldn't ask for more at the moment.
Apart from your players.
Yeah.
What a good time. Yeah.
Well, this is mainly to the guys with the BBL experience, players-wise. Obviously, you built a squad from scratch this year. You started afresh. You quite often, in what you've said in the last 10-15 minutes, you've mentioned the process. We know it's a process. We know that you're having to start with a new squad. You're looking to do all that. I'm interested to know from the players' side of stuff what their aspirations, what their expectations are from the season. You know, it's going to be a building process. Everybody knows that, but what do the players expect?
To make the playoff. You know, Plymouth has always been a place where they've had good athletes, good talent. The arena is always filled every time, you know, a game is on, but they've fallen short in previous times. So with some of us being new, some of us returning, like myself and Zach, is to make the playoff because both of us know what that playoff is like and have that playoff experience.
Louis.
And for Dylan and Louis, obviously they've been players here before. What was the decision? What was their sort of thinking coming back again? Obviously, it was unfinished business for those guys. How it ended. Are they excited to be back? Was it an easy decision? What was the process?
Yeah, for me it was a pretty easy decision to come back. Well, a familiar faces around here that I know, familiar surroundings, and yeah, like I said, a bit of unfinished business. I wanted to come back and, like Neil said, try and make the playoffs. Obviously, the last time we fell short a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy to be back in somewhere that I kind of regard as home.
Yeah, same with me really. It's unfinished business. With the new look and everything, the direction the club is going, it was kind of easy to kind of hop on. It's definitely on the inside.
For Zach, as team captain, what are you going to demand from the rest of the team as the captain?
To be honest, I just found out I was. But it was something that I really wanted. We've just been trying to set the tone. Every practice, I usually try to be the first person there every day, whether it's the weights or
on the floor, and just really lead by example in that way. I'm not usually quite a vocal guy, but since we've all been here, we've kind of gelled within 10 days, and the fact that we're all living close together has been great. So I just think we have to keep that bond, whether we're down at half time, whatever. If we just stick together, I reckon we can do really great things.
Stan?
I just have a similar question to Andrew. I was just wondering what the players' impressions are in the first week and couple of weeks of living on campus, on the university campus. How are you getting on with it?
Who would want to live there? Freshers week.
It's a token party tonight.
When do us Masters players? Seriously.
You can get some statements. I think anyone wants to say a few words about that.
Yeah, I think Ross was saying when I got here that I kind of wanted to create more of like a family experience around the club. So in that regard, I think it's it's great to have the guys just across the road or just a few houses down where we can kind of congregate and socialise quite a lot. And the teams I've been on before, sometimes what's separated being successful from maybe not being so successful is that kind of team bond and making sure everyone gets on and off the court. So I think from that perspective it will really kind of help us develop that dynamic and hopefully it'll help us get those wins as well.
Another one, so how do you mind combining a career as a basketball player with studying with a degree?
Yeah,
how challenging is that?
Very challenging. I'm a big one for trying to learn. I love reading and getting knowledge. So in that perspective, it's not as difficult. But just balancing everything, playing, training, going to lectures and stuff like that. It's tough, but I know that these guys are trying to help me out, and the management here. If I'm struggling, they'll try and take some of the load off. Whether that's maybe not doing as many weight sessions or something, they'll help me get through it. So I know I've got good guys back there.
You're hopeful.
Yeah, didn't see Gavin's face.
And then that's what you're saying. So you study some stuff. So that's what you're saying.
Yeah. I think from a support structure anyway, Eddie makes the point is that we're very much a family this year. We're all in this together, and I think that happily coincides with Richard Knight coming on board at this stage as new owners. Even small detailed things like getting messages from Neil at 11 o'clock in the evening telling me that he doesn't have any coat hangers. The washing machine doesn't quite work.
Do you even hang clothes up?
I do. I just like to text. I just like to text and keep in touch with my owners. I think that's.
It's Neil again.
If I need something, it's really good. It's really good that you can be able to reach, our general manager Heather, from Gavin to our head coach to both of our owners, and everybody responds to you, within minutes. You don't feel like you're just a player. You do feel like you're part of the family. So I do have that green light to get in touch with my owner. So I definitely.
He doesn't have your mom on though, so
not yet.
You will in about 10 minutes.
Did you get your hangers?
I will after this.
Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up? Couple more.
I have two questions, one for Gav and one for Steve. So firstly, at Gav, I played with and against Steve, so I know what he's got. But what did you see in Steve, and how easy was it for you to make the decision to bring someone like Steve into the team, being a local lad, and then pursue Steve? What does this mean for you after all this time of being in Plymouth and finally getting the opportunity to play for your hometown club?
Well, I think that Steve just, first of all, character. I mean, as I've said before about this team, I want the guys, the fans and the sponsors, and you to see it and be proud of this team. That's really important to me, and that starts with character. And Steve has a really great character, he can play, knows how to play. That's really important to me. He understands the game. He's a good athlete, and he fits in really well with, with the idea of what we're trying to achieve here. So it's a pretty easy decision, to be fair.
For me, yeah, it's huge. Growing up in Plymouth, watching the Raiders from the age of about 14, and then coming through the development system, and now finally getting to play in front of all the familiar faces, family, friends. It's a massive opportunity, and I'm very grateful.
I've got one again. I was going to ask you, is it Jonas? How he's finding settling in? Obviously, he's the main. Obviously, he's come in. I know Neil's played over here before, and obviously everybody else is kind of from fairly local. Just wondering how you settled in, how you found fit into the team, and the other thing is, this is the first year that the Raiders have had the team all living together at the place they practice with the offices all together. Do you think that's going to make a massive difference?
Question to you.
Yeah, answer all of that.
Are you enjoying your time so far?
Basically, I've always played in such an environment before. My previous team was also like a university team, but in a way that we also were living all together, and we all went to school. We were all studying, so it's kind of like a familiar situation for me in here.
Okay, maybe one more. Jen?
So, Rich and Ross, you've been in charge for what, 3-4 months now?
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
You can't really have 3 days, 9 hours.
It's a challenge. What are you most excited about?
You can answer.
Well, the biggest challenge in recruitment, really. As you can see, we're missing a couple of players at the moment, so it's been a learning curve with some of the visa processes. Nicky's done a fantastic job on the visas. We had to actually apply to be a sponsor, which took longer than expected. Once we got that sponsorship, we were then able to bring apply for the visas, which on whole have gone reasonably well. But I'll give you one example today, which no one's going to mind me saying this, but Brandon, bless him, we finally got confirmation he got his visa today, and the very next email they said, but we can't stamp it in his passport because he has no room there. So,
he needs
a new passport to get his visa stamped in. So, little things like that. I don't know if we'll ask every player in the future if they have enough room in their passport for visas, but actually I think we probably will now.
Under due diligence. For me, the challenge is, imagine in 10 weeks, meeting somebody, falling in love, getting married, having kids, moving house.
I've no idea where you're going with this.
And doing all of this in a few weeks' time, rebranding taking ownership of a basketball club, rebranding it. Leah PM has been building a new website behind the scenes, bringing in a new coach, recruiting a team. I can't imagine doing any more in 10 weeks than what we've probably had to do. And when you look at the things that a great many group of people had to do to get to where we are right now, I think we probably realised it at the time. We would have taken a step back and thought, man, this is a challenge. But we're here. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. It's going to continue to be a lot of fun. When Richard and I first started talking about this, and I've said this to a few people, that Richard and I first started talking about this in May, and we were all really disappointed after last season. I think everybody was really disappointed last season. And I've not spoken to Richard in a few months, but we've known each other for maybe 30 years, maybe 25, 30 years. And we sort of conveyed our disappointments like a lot of fans. And those early exchanges from simple text messages about being able to see a slightly different way forward suddenly translated into a, should we? And it was a case of, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's go for it. What have we got to lose? Let's just see if there's something that we can get involved with. And from that moment, Bob and Pat have been absolutely fantastic. And really that whirlwind started very, very quickly. And then our guys started talking to their guys, and then over a period of a few weeks and a few months, everything started to come together. And we really, really quickly realised that what we weren't privy to as fans, and in some cases sponsors, there was an incredible support network around the Plymouth Raiders. Probably that we didn't realise, that maybe is unmatched, maybe even in the BBL. And as I say, I think that plays back to the legacy aspect. When you talk about what we saw on the video and how far that goes back as a club, we've got a very, very proud history here in Plymouth. And what Rich and I said from the very beginning is the theme for us moving forward has to really play to the heritage side of the club, because there's nobody that can match where we've been and hopefully where we can go. So that's probably been the greatest source of satisfaction once we got the deal done, is actually knowing about some of the great people that we're working with. And it has been fun.
on that note, we do have a bit of a thank you, because it has been a huge amount of work, not just for Ross and I, but in fact a lot of time we've taken a step back and left it to the game. So a bit of a thank you. Firstly, Nikki is in the ring somewhere. Really not sure we should do this, but Danny. And one other person who barely sleeps at the moment, I might add, Heather, thank you very much. Okay guys, now, I think we're going to make our way down. We're going to have some food first, and then make our way down. The players are going to go on. Yes, there is, sorry, I forgot.
I'd just like to make also a very special mention to Tony and Irene Smith, who over the last week or so have worked. I mentioned earlier about Tony and Irene, they've worked incredibly hard over this last few weeks to get the season up and ready. So just only a very little token of our appreciation.
Yeah, okay, so just step into the middle. I'm going to get inside the middle. Yeah, so